Goodbye to YouTube, and yeah guys, happy whatever day today is. For those of you who don't know, Small Gun has recently updated their tiers, so I'll leave a link to that down in the description, so please comment down below on what you think about them. Do you like the tier changes? Do you hate them? What are your opinions on stuff that dropped, that went up? I don't know, just leave a comment. Today's battle is going to be against Miloni. I know I posted a previous battle against him, but he doesn't have a YouTube channel, unfortunately. This was a very good battle. As you can see from his team, he's running dual weather with Tyranitar and Kyogre, so that's going to be a bit of an issue, so that means Palkia and Excadrill are his two sweepers of choice. Then I have to watch out for the Arceus as well as the Fortress. So a key member on my team is definitely going to be the Tentacruel, because I cannot allow him to start getting up his entry hazards with his Fortress. So hopefully I will be able to prevent that, and let's get right into the battle and let's see how it turned out. He's going to be leading off with the Kyogre, as I'm going to be leading off with my Ferrothorn, seeing as it basically deals with most of his team. So he's actually going to go straight for the Ice Beam. I guess maybe wanted to see what I would do or how much damage it would do, but then again I could have gone for the Power Whip and got off a good chunk of damage on this Kyogre, which really isn't a big deal, as this turn he's going to switch out to the Arceus. And luckily for me, I am going to go for the Leech Seed as opposed to going for the Power Whip, which I was very close to going for, but judging for how much damage the Ice Beam did, I knew he would more than likely want to switch out. So because of the way he brought it in, I know he's just going to go for a Sword Sense, because obviously Ferrothorn can do nothing to Arceus. So I'm going to switch into my Giratina. Now this is actually a specially defensive Giratina, but even though I am specially defensive, Giratina is easily one of the bulkiest Pokemon in the Uber tier. So I'm going to be able to take the +2 super effective Shadow Claw, and I'm going to be able to get off the Will-O-Wisp, as the following turn the Burn and the Leech Seed is really going to start racking up on him. So I'm actually going to switch out into my Ferrothorn, because it's the best thing that I have to take a Shadow Claw, and he actually does predict that and goes for the Brick Break. And I was actually very close to switching out into my Blissey, so it's a good thing that I didn't, because obviously that Brick Break, even though it is neutral, Blissey don't have the best physical defense around, so it still would have done a good chunk of damage. So managed to get rid of the Arceus early on in the game, as he's going to bring in the Tyranitar. Now because of the way he brought it in, I'm obviously thinking he's going to go for the Fire Blast, so I'm going to switch out to my Tentacruel. Now if you're wondering why I have a Tentacruel in Ubers, it's because I needed a Rapid Spinner, as well as it is able to get up the Tox Spikes, and because rain is the most used weather in Ubers, I know it'll definitely benefit me having a Tentacruel, seeing as I do have the Rain Dish. So he's going to get up Stealth Rocks, as I went for the knockoff, and I knocked off a Choppleberry. Not sure if that's released yet or not, and I'm actually going to be able to get the Burn with the Scald, and this is where it does matter, because I'm going to be able to take that Crunch like a monster. So the following turn, I believe I just go for another Scald, or I do go for a layer of Tox Spikes, as he brings in the Fortress, and I do go for Tox Spikes. So knowing that he might... Sorry, that he more than likely might go for the Rapid Spin just to spin away my Tox Spikes, I'm going to switch out into my Giratina, as I believe he does predict that and goes for his own Tox Spikes, but that really doesn't bother me, seeing as I do have the Tentacruel, which obviously does absorb them. So I'm just going to stay in and I'm going to rest up, because I'm running on very low amount of HP, and I know I might need my Giratina, especially for his Kyogre, because as I said, this is a specially defensive Giratina, and his Kyogre, from the looks of it, might be Scarfed. So I know Scarfed Water Spouts shouldn't be doing too much to my team, because I do have the Giratina, which resists it. So he's going to get up another layer of Spikes, as I'm going to bring in my Tentacruel, and I'm just going to Rapid Spin them away. Now this was a bit risky, seeing as I do have, I believe, 2 layers of Spikes up and a layer of Tox Spikes up, which means he's going to be able to spin those away. But as long as I can spin away his entry hazards, I'm really not too worried about it. So the following turn, I'm just going to go for the knockoff, because I want to stop this Fortress from gaining recovery with the leftovers, and hopefully go for a Scald and be able to burn him the following turn. But no, he actually opts to switch out to the Excadrill. Now obviously, because I'm going to be fearing the Earthquake, I know he's going to go for the Sword Sense, predicting me to switch out to my Gliscor, so that's why I'm actually going to stay in, and I'm going to go for the Scald. Unfortunately, I do pull a crit, but honestly, in the long run of the battle, that really doesn't matter, because Gliscor basically deals with any form of Excadrill, unless for some stupid and odd reason was running HP Ice. So look at how much damage that Rock Slide did. Even if he was at +2, that would have done nothing to me. So I'm just going to stay in, and I'm going to go for the Earthquake, when maybe on hindsight I should have gone for the Substitute, as he brings in the Tyranitar. But if Tyranitar was carrying Fire Blast, he more than likely was carrying the Ice Beam. So yeah, now he's going to bring in the Kyogre, and here is where I make the biggest mistake of this battle. I bring in my Tentacruel thinking he will go for the Ice Beam, and he goes for the Water Spout, utterly annihilating me, when I should have gone out into my Blissey, and you're just gonna see how badly that costs me. So I'm going to go for the Thunder Wave when I should have gone for the Seismic Toss. So now I'm going to be forced to switch out to my Gliscor. Yes, the Excadrill is burned, but I don't want my Blissey taking any unnecessary damage because I know I'm going to need it for his Kyogre, so he's going to bring in the Fortress, and I can do nothing to Fortress with my Gliscor. So I'm switching to my Arceus, and I'm going to go for the Will-O-Wisp. If you're wondering why I have Psychic Arceus, it's because it deals with Mewtwo, which this team gets destroyed by. So I'm just going to speed this part up because it's basically him getting up all his entry hazards, as I'm going to go for the Elite Seed just so I can get rid of this Fortress. And losing my Tentacruel was extremely stupid because now I'm not going to be able to spin away all these damn entry hazards that he's got up. He's going to get up 2 layers of Toxic Spikes, 3 layers of Spikes, and Stealth Rocks up. So right now I'm in a very bad situation. My back is up against the wall and I have to start playing correctly or I'm basically going to get screwed. So managed to get rid of the Fortress as he's going to bring in the Palkia. I got up 1 layer of Spikes and he's going to miss his Hydro Pump as I'm going to miss my Lead Seed. As he following turn he's going to miss Hydro Pump again as I'm going to get my Lead Seed off now. Because I am a Ferrothorn, I'm pretty positive that Hydro Pump won't do too much damage. So again he misses another Hydro Pump, allowing me to get off the Power Whip when I was actually very close to going for the Protect. And you're going to see that he actually turns out to be Specs. So in the rain to a physically defensive Ferrothorn, that does 90%. Holy crap. Jesus, that did way too much. So because he did miss the first 3 Hydro Pumps, I'm going to be able to go for the Protect the following turn, which means he will die off to the Lead Seed. Now I do still have my Giratina and he actually is Spec, so I don't know if missing the Hydro Pumps really did matter too much in the long run of the battle. So he's down to his Kyogre as I'm down to my Gliscor, my Ferrothorn, my Arceus, and my Blissey. And as I said, he's got all his entry hazards up. So I'm going to switch on to my Gliscor basically as Death Fodder just to see what he wants to lock himself into, and he turns out to lock himself into the Water Spout. Now at this point I'm pretty positive that I've lost, and this is really my last chance to actually pull out a victory if my Arceus is going to be able to live this Water Spout. And here is the moment of truth. Am I able to live? HP is going down. I live with 19. Allow me to get the Parasong off, which means I'm going to be able to just barely win this battle, as I'm going to switch into my Ferrothorn after I die off to the Toxic. Now because I do carry the Protect, I'm going to go for that, which means the Perish count on Kyogre is going to drop to 2. And the following turn I'm going to try to get a double Protect. Unfortunately, because I have bad luck, I'm not going to be able to get it, so he's going to finish me off with the Water Spout, and I'm going to switch into my Giratina. I also could have switched out into my Blissey, but I knew because my Giratina resisted, it was a better thing to switch out into. And after this Water Spout, he is going to die off because of the Parasong. So that was a very narrow 2-up victory in my favor. I shouldn't have made that stupid play with the Tentacruel, because as you see, it really did cost me. But luckily, I'm still going to be able to pull out the victory. So with that, guys, make sure to leave a like. Make sure to leave a comment about the tier changes in Smogon. And if you want to see more content from me, just make sure to subscribe. So with that, I do believe I am out of here. Later.